Thank you, Kath. I'm going to talk about healing today, but there's no presumption I have that I know what I'm talking about. It is an art that we all discover for ourselves. It's not a science, it's not scientific, it's not one size fits all. It's wiggly, it's messy, it's demanding change. And so with that in mind, healing is not about health. It's not about feeling perfect. Healing is about returning to the world with a sense of, okay, I'm okay enough. It's time to get living again. It's no longer postponing my life because I still have something going on. I was at a funeral yesterday. It's such a reminder of how precious life is. And this woman, Ione, Rita may talk about it next week. She was there. Ione was a beautiful soul, one of the rare ones, a nurse and a healing presence. Just she'd walk into a room. And as we sat and looked at the pictures on the display, notice that every picture had this radiance. She was the radiance in every single picture. Whether there was a group, you could spot Ione by the smile. And for the last 10 years, she was in intense pain. And it did not dim that smile. So I could say that she was a healing, because she never succumbed and she never wavered off of that integration and that knowingness of the whole. The whole was her strength. And what I mean by the whole, I mean community, friends, the invisible, the unknowable, all of it, all of life. And when there's some kind of balance and integration with that and some sorts of knowing about that, that gives us the ability to truly heal, regardless of what our body tells us. We have ease and we have dis-ease. And when we have ease, think about an openness. And disease is a closedness. It's a disharmony. And if you were to think about a flat tire, you know, how often do we notice our tires until they start to make noise or they start to feel a little? So something about the healing process is about attention and making sure that we're noticing what's going on so that the tire doesn't ever get too low. We don't get too far out of balance. And you might look in your life as, how do you know when you're out of balance? Because when we're out of balance, that's when disease has an opportunity. When we're paying attention, we can catch things before they go off the rails. And so paying attention is so critical. Anxiety is a result of being out of balance. When we're out of balance, something in the body goes, uh-oh, and immediately we're shot with an adrenaline. We need to return to control, we need to return to balance. One of the indicators is pain. Another one is anxiety. These are those little stressors, those little attention grabbers that says, hey, wake up, pay attention. 1/3 of this country is in anxiety right now. It is epidemic in this country. Not just because of the Trump effect, which is an anxiety producer in itself, but just what's happening in the world, and the fact that the world, in a sense, is becoming out of balance with global warming, with excessive wealth, with the wars that are going on, the endless wars that are continuing. So all of this contributes to the environment that can cause disharmony and disease within us. So are we paying attention to what we're focusing on? Do we focus on the big picture of what I have, of how magical this life is? Or am I focusing on what's wrong? And if I focus on what's wrong, which is very easy to do because it grabs our attention, I become invested in what's wrong. Now, that's a good thing, yes, but it's also paradoxically not such a good thing. To put our heads in the sand is ridiculous, but to focus and obsess upon something is just as ridiculous. How do we come back to a balance? And that's the important piece here. We want to come back to balance. We want to come back to some sense of control so that I have control in my life. How often have you really had control, ever had control in your life? Give it up now. That being said, though, we still want control. Bless our hearts, I mean, come on. But can we be a little more comfortable with uncertainty? Maybe just 10% more. Can we let go of the need of wanting it to be a certain way always? Can we allow the surprise? Can we allow the failures? Because where is it that we really do learn is from our mistakes and our failures. We learn so much more on our cloudy, on our rainy days than we do on our sunny days. Adyashanti tells the story of his knees. And as a meditator, as a very serious meditator, which he says is a disease in itself, is seriousness, he thought you needed to meditate in lotus position hour after hour, day after day, until you became enlightened. Well, he laughs at that notion now, but at the time he was very serious, and so he treated his body shamelessly. So in that process, he ruined his knees. He needed to have surgery. And so he had the surgery on both of his knees, and he wasn't healing. And after about 4 months or so, he said, I'd had enough. There's something going on here, something that I need to pay attention to. And so what he did was he asked his body, come on, you tell me. Embodiment. So he asked his body, tell me what's going on. And the body started to talk. He said, I was amazed. It had quite a bit to say. It said, why did you injure me? Why did you treat me so poorly? Why did you torture me, and why did you cut me up? We could have worked together. Wow. And with that, something in him resonated. He felt that was so true, that how our mind can interfere, our mind can cause our problems. A thought that you needed to be in a certain posture caused all this damage. It was just a thought. And so our mind can cause disease. Our mind can also stand in the way of our healing. And the mind also can be very helpful when it finally sees what's going on and can, in a sense, be an ally in bringing us back to harmony. As a result, he said, I had to listen and I had to apologize to my body. And I said, I'm so sorry. And he wept. I am so, so sorry. I didn't know. Please forgive me. That was the beginning of his healing and returning. And as it turned out, his knees did recover. So it's a very complex. Where do we look for our healing? We don't know, but we can become curious and ask questions. We can ask the body, tell me, what do you need? What's my obvious next step? Where do I go from here? Help me. I invite your advice. Because it really is, it's not my mind that does the healing. It's the whole integrated body. Everything does the healing. And we have no idea how it works. So we try it all. And we remain humble. I would say that nature is an amazing healer. Just going out into nature and opening to nature. Opening to the trees, opening to the waters, opening to all of it. I'm going to tell the story of the Zen cat and the monkey again. It's worth repeating. And so the Zen cat was on his pilgrimage and he came across this monkey down by the lake. And the monkey was very agitated, just in a fit, chattering to himself. The cat says, I can see you're agitated, brother, but tell me what's going on. It's my monkey mind. Aha. It's driving me crazy. I cannot modulate my thoughts. They're random. Help. The cat said, follow me. Let's go down to the lake. And they go down to this little lake. And the monkey was starting to feel better just being in the cat's presence. It's because the cat wasn't buying any of it, wasn't enforcing it, reinforcing it, wasn't denying it, was just being present to what the monkey's dilemma was. That was calming. The cat gave the monkey the space to be exactly as the monkey was. That's a gift right there. So the cat said, sit beside me. And the monkey did. And the cat said, this is a little lake. And this lake has been fed by a stream. If you listen very, very carefully, you can hear the sound of the water that has entered this lake. And the sound is still here to be listened to. See if you can find the sound. The monkey became curious. And for a moment, he started to listen. And he listened harder and harder. And the harder he listened, the quieter everything got. And after a period of time, the monkey said, nope, can't listen, can't find it, can't do it. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. I see some smiles. Nothing is happening. Wow. Wow, no mind chatter. The cat pointed that out. And the monkey went, oh, you're right. For that period of time, there were no thoughts. For that period of time, that peace was so unfamiliar to the monkey that he had missed it. And all of a sudden now he's realizing, yes, there is that peace within. And I love this part of the story that I'm just going to read. It's so sweet. The monkey didn't move. He didn't speak. He just watched the swallows skimming the water and felt the autumn breeze against his fur. That's a healing. That's coming back into harmony. Will he have monkey mind again? Of course. But he also has a path back to the quiet. And that's the paradox of this and the healing, is that you can have it both, and it's not about perfect health. So we have that little sort of list of suggestions of how to attain this healing. The first suggestion is being 100%, 101%, 110% committed, invested in healing, that you'll do anything. You'll give up anything. So there is a direct investment, a direct participation. You're not letting the doctors fix you. You're in participation with doctors. You're not giving away your power to anywhere. You're holding your power, because this is your body, your life, and it's all integrated, so that you want to be not in control, but in partnership. The next step is listening and accepting. It's listening. And in that listening, is there anything else I need to know? What's my next step? And can I accept this situation or this setback as it is? Can I just accept it? If for no other reason is I have no choice. It's already happened. It's here. Can I include that within my healing? Do not wait to engage in healing. Jump in with both feet. If you fail, try again and again and again. Remember, it's the body, not the mind necessarily, that does the healing. It's a whole integration of both. So we work on an integrated wholeness model. And lastly, kind of it's never passive. It's an active participation. There was this prince who was born with a spinal deformity. And at 7 years old, the doctors said, I'm sorry, you're not going to be like other boys. You're going to grow up deformed like this. And he didn't buy it. And he went to his grandma. His grandmother was very wise, and she didn't buy it either. And she said, I'm not so sure they're right. Why don't you have your dad build you a statue of you when you're 20 years old, in perfect health, standing tall? And we'll put that in the town square. And every time you walk by, you'll look at that and you'll know that that is your destiny. That is your possibility. That is what's possible. And perhaps you can grow into that. Well, the boy took it and he said, that's a great idea. And for the next 13 years, bit by bit, he grew into that vision. And so we all need support systems that nourish us. And that's where community comes in. That's what our special pets come in, our furry animals, our furry friends. I call it the fur and the purr. Is so healing. But it's the reflection and it's the encouragement from everyone around us, because everyone has that healing potential for us. Everyone has awareness and presence. And the biggest gift we can give to one another is our open-hearted awareness and our presence, our attention, that we actually listen deeply. This is our gift. And so when we rely on others and when they give us our attention, they're giving us our love, and that love is healing. And so when we say it takes a village, it takes a community to heal, to come back to that oneness, it does take a whole community. And it's not a one-way street. And that's the most important part of this. It's what you give is what also returns. And so as the community gives to me, I also am empowered to give back. And it's the flow that always does the work. If you think of the electricity in the wall, there's the potential. And you plug into it, and when you turn it on, and it flows back and forth, it's oscillating. That's where the power is. That's where the lights come on. So it's the giving and the receiving is so important, and we miss the giving part. We go to the doctors. Do we give to the doctors? Do we give to the hospital staff? Do we give to our friends? You see, because that's part of our healing, is the flow through the heart. And I'm going to close by the lone wolf, or the guy riding off into the sunset. It's poetic, but it doesn't work. So I'm here to say, don't be a lone wolf. We're all here to help. Let's take this into prayer. As we, in gratitude for this life that has been so generously given, we simply breathe into it with a grateful heart, giving thanks for everything that has been given. And I mean everything. I wouldn't change a thing. And I know that gratitude is the doorway to healing, to be grateful for what I have, to cherish what I do have, to cherish my friendships, my community, my furry friends. Everything that gives me joy, I cherish and I value it. And I know that by valuing it, that is enough. That gratitude is the healing. And so I let that permeate my body and let it permeate all of us. And so from that gratitude, we know that we are blessed. And that is enough. And with this, we say thank you. Blessed be, and so it is.